6 powerhouse exercises that activate your entire body in a single motion. Imagine being able to build more raw strength and explosive power with just 6 carefully chosen movements than you would from following a full workout program of 30 or more isolated exercises. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet modern sports science has proven this to be true. Compound, multi-joint exercises are far more effective than isolation moves when it comes to building real, functional strength. And if your biggest excuse for skipping workouts is that you don't have the time, today you'll see that just 6 smartly selected movements are more than enough to challenge every major muscle group at once. With these, you'll be able to forge raw power, boost endurance, and unlock athleticism across your whole body. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Drop your name in the comments and let me know how long you've been training. Let's start with exercise number 6, the kettlebell swing. Few exercises have shaken up the world of functional training quite like this one. The kettlebell swing isn't just another strength move, it's practically a full training session condensed into a single, fluid motion. It combines raw strength development, cardiovascular conditioning, mobility training, and explosive power in a way few other exercises can match. At its core, the kettlebell swing is all about the hips. This pendulum-like motion heavily targets your entire posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, and lower back, while also firing up your core, shoulders, arms, and legs. The most impressive part? It teaches your body to generate explosive force, a quality that translates into nearly every sport or physical activity you do. When executed properly, the kettlebell swing is not a squat variation, and it's certainly not an arm lift. It's a powerful hinge and hip extension driven by the glutes and hamstrings. Think of it as trying to catapult the kettlebell forward using nothing but the force of your hips snapping into extension. To perform it, stand with your feet set slightly wider than shoulder width. Grip the kettlebell with both hands and position it between your legs ready to swing. From there, the movement begins. To perform the kettlebell swing correctly, the secret is mastering the hip hinge. Think of it this way. Instead of squatting down, you're pushing your hips back as if you were trying to close a door behind you with your glutes. This hinge allows the kettlebell to swing naturally backward between your legs. Your knees will bend slightly, but remember the driving force doesn't come from your legs bending. The power originates from your hips snapping forward. If you're doing it right, the kettlebell should float up to about shoulder height or a little higher before gravity naturally brings it back down. The real burn should be felt in your glutes and hamstrings, not in your arms or lower back.
At the peak of the movement, your body should be tall and solid, forming a straight line from shoulders to heels. Your glutes should be squeezed tight, your core braced, and your knees extended, but never locked out completely. This finishing position shows that the force has been transferred properly through your hips. There are a few common pitfalls to avoid. Many beginners accidentally turn the swing into a squat, bending too much at the knees instead of hinging at the hips. Others try to muscle the kettlebell up with their arms, which defeats the purpose and overloads the shoulders. Another big mistake is rounding the back, which places unnecessary stress on the spine, or failing to contract the glutes fully at the top. Using a kettlebell that's too light is another misstep. It doesn't provide enough resistance to challenge your muscles and forces you to overcompensate with your arms. If you're starting out, a good foundation is 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions with a moderate kettlebell. For women, a solid starting range is 18 to 26 pounds or 8 to 12 kilograms, while men can usually begin around 26 to 35 pounds or 12 to 16 kilograms. Now let's move on to exercise number 5, the farmer's walk. At first glance, the farmer's walk might look too basic to be effective, but don't be fooled. This movement has humbled even elite athletes. It recruits nearly every muscle group in your body, with particular emphasis on your forearms, shoulders, traps, core, quads, hamstrings, and even the small stabilizing muscles around your ankles and feet. What makes this exercise so unique is how it forces your entire body to coordinate as a single, unified system, just the way nature intended us to move. Its brilliance lies in its simplicity. Carrying weight from one point to another is something we all do in everyday life. The farmer's walk takes that familiar action and transforms it into a controlled, progressive, and powerful strength-building movement. Unlike isolation lifts that only target a small area, this one strengthens entire chains of muscles at once, improving not only strength, but also posture, muscular endurance, and overall stability. Here's how to perform it correctly. Grab 2 weights, dumbbells, kettlebells, or even makeshift household items like water-filled buckets. Hold one in each hand with your arms hanging naturally at your sides. Keep your shoulders pulled back and down, away from your ears, while engaging your core tightly. A helpful cue is to imagine pinching a coin between your shoulder blades and holding it there the entire time. Next, simply begin walking forward in a straight line. Maintain an upright posture, eyes looking straight ahead, and shoulders square. You'll know you're performing it properly if you feel a balanced tension throughout your body, especially in your grip and traps, without experiencing pain in your lower back. Your breathing should remain steady and controlled, and your steps should be strong and deliberate, not shaky or uneven. Common mistakes to avoid include shrugging your shoulders forward, bending your elbows to rest the weights, letting your spine lose its neutral alignment, or picking weights that are either too light to stimulate growth or so heavy that they break your form. Another big error, looking down at your feet. Keep your gaze forward to protect your neck and reinforce proper posture. For beginners, a good rule of thumb is to start with a load equal to about 30 to 40% of your body weight, combined across both hands. Walk 65 to 100 feet per set, aiming for 3 to 4 rounds, and rest 60 to 90 seconds between each. As your strength progresses, gradually increase both the distance and the load. Let's move on to exercise number 4, the thruster. If I could only take one exercise with me to a desert island, the thruster would be the clear winner. Why? Because it's brutally effective and astonishingly complete. This hybrid movement combines 2 powerhouse exercises, the front squat and the overhead press, into a single fluid motion that taxes nearly every muscle group in your body at once. The thruster is the definition of efficiency. With just one exercise, you're targeting your quads, glutes, hamstrings, core, shoulders, triceps, and the stabilizers of your spine and back. It's as if the strength of a squat and the power of a press collided into one, amplifying their benefits and forcing your entire system to work together. Beyond strength training, the thruster also skyrockets your heart rate, delivering both strength training and conditioning in one devastating package. What makes this move so valuable is how it trains your body to transfer power. The energy generated by your legs drives upward through your core before finally being expressed through your arms in the press. It's a masterclass in full body coordination and functional athleticism. Here's how to perform it. Grab a barbell or a pair of dumbbells. Hold the weights at shoulder height with elbows pointing downward, palms facing in. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and brace your core. Lower yourself into a deep front squat, keeping your chest up and your heels grounded. As you explode upward out of the squat, immediately channel that momentum into pressing the weights overhead, fully extending your arms.
Lower the weights back to shoulder level smoothly, ready to drop right into your next squat. Now, let's jump into exercise number 3, the burpee. Burpees. Loved by a small group of hardcore athletes, feared and sometimes hated by almost everyone else. And there's a reason for that. This deceptively simple exercise is one of the toughest yet most effective full body movements out there. It blends strength, muscular endurance, cardiovascular conditioning, agility, and coordination into one explosive sequence that will test both your body and your mind. The burpee is a pure bodyweight exercise, requiring no equipment, which makes it even more versatile. It recruits nearly every muscle in your body, with a particular emphasis on your chest, shoulders, triceps, core, quads, and glutes. Beyond strength, the burpee also skyrockets your heart rate in seconds, turning every repetition into a fat-burning, metabolism-boosting powerhouse.
What makes burpees stand out is their ability to torch calories and rev up your metabolism long after the workout ends. Research shows that performing burpees, even for just 30 seconds, can elevate your caloric expenditure for up to 24 hours afterward. This happens because of a physiological effect known as EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, where your body keeps burning energy at a higher rate to recover. In other words, burpees turn your metabolism into a furnace. Here's how to execute them correctly. Begin standing tall with feet about shoulder width apart. From there, squat down and place your hands firmly on the floor in front of you. Jump or step your feet back until you're in a strong plank position. Perform a full push-up, bringing your chest all the way down to the ground. Then, jump or step your feet back toward your hands, returning to a squat position. From here, explode upward into a jump, fully extending your body in the air with your arms reaching overhead. Land softly, allowing your knees to absorb the impact, and immediately flow into the next repetition. You'll know your form is on point when the movement feels like one seamless chain without unnecessary pauses. Keep your spine neutral during the push-up and plank to protect your lower back. In the final jump, focus on maximum height paired with a soft landing. The most frequent mistakes to avoid include letting your lower back sag during the plank, cutting the push-up short, failing to fully extend in the jump, or performing the movement at reckless speed that sacrifices technique. Another common issue is forgetting to breathe. Many people hold their breath, which quickly leads to early fatigue. For beginners, scaled-down versions are the perfect place to start. Try a burpee without the push-up or without the final jump. Perform 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps with enough rest between sets to keep your form clean. As you build strength and stamina, you can progress to the full burpee and increase either the number of reps or reduce the rest time to challenge your conditioning. Now let's move into exercise number 3, the push-up to downward dog. This is a brilliant hybrid movement that fuses strength with mobility in a single flow. The first phase, the push-up, works your chest, shoulders, and triceps with intensity. Immediately afterward, the transition into downward dog stretches and lengthens your entire posterior chain. Hamstrings, glutes, lower back, shoulders, while your core stays fully engaged throughout. What makes this move so valuable is that it gives you the best of two worlds. On one hand, you're developing pushing strength and muscular endurance. On the other, you're building flexibility and joint mobility, which are often overlooked in traditional strength training programs. It's the kind of movement that not only builds functional muscle, but also keeps your body moving well, reducing stiffness and preventing injuries.
Exercise number 1,
The sled push. If you've ever walked into a gym and noticed athletes straining against massive sleds or pushing tractor tires across the floor, you already know the intensity of this movement. The sled push is deceptively simple but brutally effective. Within seconds, even highly trained individuals are left breathless, drenched in sweat, and feeling their muscles burn. This is because the sled push is a complete metabolic challenge, firing up nearly every major muscle group in the body. It places heavy emphasis on the quadriceps, glutes, and core, while also calling on the shoulders, triceps, and calves for stability and driving power. It's one of those rare exercises that blends raw strength training with cardiovascular conditioning, making it both a muscle builder and a fat burner at the same time. What makes this exercise especially efficient is the continuous force output it requires. Unlike movements such as the squat, where you get a brief moment of relief at the top, the sled push doesn't give you that luxury. Once you start moving, your body is forced to maintain tension and drive until the set is over. Even better, because your feet remain planted on the ground, the sled push is remarkably joint-friendly and low impact, making it a safe option even for people recovering from injuries. To perform it correctly, stand behind the sled and grip the handles firmly with your arms extended. Lean your body forward so that there is a straight line from your head down to your heels. Your body angle matters a lot. The closer you are to the ground, the more your hamstrings and glutes are recruited. A more upright stance shifts the emphasis toward your quadriceps. One set, drive into the sled with controlled, short, and rapid steps. Keep your feet close to the ground, almost grazing the surface with each step as if dragging them forward. You'll know you're on the right track when you feel a deep burn in your legs, your core tight and engaged, and your heart pounding as your breathing rate skyrockets. Remember, your shoulders should stay locked in place without creeping up toward your ears, and your spine should remain straight throughout. Common mistakes include letting the hips rise higher than the shoulders, losing the straight body alignment, taking strides that are too long, or relying too heavily on arm strength instead of driving from the legs and core.
And because balance is just as important in training as intensity, if you'd like to complement this kind of raw, demanding exercise with something restorative, we've got you covered. On the screen right now, you'll find a video where we explore 6 traditional Japanese isometric postures. These postures are designed to undo years of stiffness and neglect, helping you heal, restore mobility, and reconnect with your body in a way that intense movements alone cannot provide. Thank you for sticking with us until now. Your commitment to learning and improving inspires us to keep creating this type of content. Wishing you strength, resilience, and blessings on your fitness journey.